everybody! I want to take just a couple minutes to talk about our learning space. When we log into our class, this is what it's going to sort of look like. The announcements that we see here might be a little bit different depending on when you look into the classroom. After we log into our classroom, we have a couple different options. We can click on course menu, and then we'll have a drop-down menu with our announcements, which is very important. Our learning modules, which has got like our learning software in it, discussions, assignments, and our grades. If we click on tools, you'll see a couple different tools here for you to use, including our calendar. You can see who's in our class and also your e-portfolio as well. We also have an online student services link that you can click on, and it's going to take you to like tech support and whatnot. And you can also get there by clicking on help as well. I want to point out the student tutorial videos. If you click on that link, it's going to take you to some SNHU made videos that kind of takes you through the classroom experience, as well as viewing my comments, getting the rubric, and all that kind of sort of awesome stuff as well. First thing I want to draw our attention to is if we click on the course menu, you see that we have an option here for announcements. Now if we scroll down, we can see a couple announcements that I've posted already, but this is always going to show you the most recent ones that I have made available. If you want to view the other announcements, you want to click on announcements, and it's going to take you to a listing of all the announcements that I have posted for us so far. I just clicked on the assignments. Let's click on the announcements, and then we'll go from there. And there's my fan. I'm sorry, I know it's a little loud. As you can see, we have a couple here that are already posted. Our final countdown with some tips and strategies for success in our class. And if we scroll down further, you'll have my contact information and all that important stuff. As we go through our course term together, I will continually post announcements in here, usually Sunday night and Tuesday night, and occasionally a couple more times throughout the week depending on what we're doing that week. It is essential that you always view our announcements either on this page, which is the page I recommend because it includes all of the ones that I have posted, or when we log into the computer, there's going to be those three there as well. It's imperative that you guys read through our announcements because you are responsible for the information that I present in there. There's going to be supplemental resources to help clarify some of the topics that we're going through, as well as important announcements for our assignments. Maybe we have a dual submission one week, and I will clearly tell you in there. So always make sure that you view our announcements. And if you ever have any questions on the content, get a hold of me. Just as a reminder, if you scroll down towards the bottom of our announcements, there is my contact information. You can email me, we can chat, we can do text, and you can even call me if you want. We can also post questions in the general discussion forum, which I'll show you in just a couple minutes. A couple other options that we have available under our course menu is our learning modules. And this is where we're going to do like the meat of our class, where all of our important learning concepts are. There's a lot of information right here. What's really cool is it gives you kind of a scroll bar. It tells you how much of the course you have completed, which I find really effective in keeping me on track. But if we scroll down a little bit, we'll see an important link here that says English 123 syllabus. This is the syllabus. It's going to clarify what a bunch of our assignments are, what your expectations, what my expectations are, all of that important stuff. We have our MindEdge information. Make sure that you do buy and access MindEdge as soon as possible. If you have any questions, let me know. And then as we scroll down, we're going to actually see links to our external learning tool, which is MindEdge. And if we click on one, say we click on Module 1, Keys to Persuasion, this is actually going to open up our MindEdge software for us into our lecture, so to speak. So we can scroll down, and we can read through it, click on the next button, and it's going to take us kind of like flipping through a digital book. One of the first things that you'll see here is we have our first discussion forum. We will do a couple discussion forums throughout the term. This one is ungraded, but I do encourage you to participate in our class mixers where we can kind of introduce each other, ourselves to each other. If we click over here, we have a drop-down menu that takes you through the different chapters of this module's learning content, and you'll notice that it's going to tell you what assignments are graded and what assignments are not graded. We have our class mixer. We also have our discussion that is required, persuasions in everyday life, and then we have an activity that will help us with brainstorming the topics that we might want to be doing for our final paper. And then when we see something like 1.6 journal or 2.5 submission, those are typically going to be what we call dual submissions, and I'll show you that in just a second. We can click on a specific chapter, and it's going to take us right to there. I just clicked on our required discussion forum, in which we talk about persuasion in daily life. Now it's super easy here. All we have to do is click on a new thread, put in our subject, type in our body, and then we hit post, and then that's it. It's going to be posted. So if you have any questions on doing our discussion forums, let me know. Just be sure to reply to at least two peers whenever we have a discussion forum. If we click on another chapter, say 1-6, I just want to show you real quick what it kind of looks like. In MindEdge, it's going to give you a little bit of information about what the assignment is. And it will also always give you access to the rubric as well. Now, I will typically present an announcement video or an image or something to kind of clarify the rubric, but you can also see it within MindEdge as well. Okay? And then it's usually going to tell you, hey, we also need to submit it in Brightspace as well. So this is kind of how MindEdge works. You can click through it, clicking the drop-down menu, or you can also do the back and forth next or previous if we scroll down here as well. Going back to our course menu, we also have another discussion option. Now this is different than the discussions that we have in MindEdge. These are typically going to be general questions that you might have for the class as a whole. For example, we have general questions. You can click on there and start a new thread. If you're not sure of an assignment or you want just some clarification on concepts, go ahead and feel free to post in here. And then we also have another sort of ungraded discussion forum where we can kind of just ask questions to get to know each other a little bit. For example, I have a let's introduce ourselves kind of discussion forum and also a preferred name. If you have a different name than what is that's listed in our class list, you can always pop on here and tell us what you would rather us call you. A couple more things to look at. If we click on assignments, it's going to take us to a list of all of these assignments as well as what your scores are and some feedback. If we click on a link in here, it's going to take us to a little bit more information about that assignment. There's going to be some information that's available in MindEdge as well. Our rubrics are going to be right here. And the rubrics are really important. There's my fan. I'm sorry it's loud. Because the rubrics will tell you specifically what we want to be doing for each assignment. And then here you can actually submit. You can add a file. You can type a comment directly to me and hit submit. And then your assignments will be submitted. Many of our assignments will be what we call dual assignments, which means you're going to need to participate in MindEdge, but you're also going to need to submit it in Brightspace as well. And I will always make it very clear if we have a dual assignment, but always feel free, a dual submission assignment, but always feel free to connect with me if you have any questions at all. And then if we click on grades, it's going to perhaps obviously take us to our grade book. As we start submitting stuff, there will be more links and more information in here as well, in which you can view my actual comments on your documents, as well as your score. Okay, and trying to get back to our announcements. And to sort of just kind of to run down the really important stuff that we talked about here, if you have any questions anytime on submitting, let me know. And we can also connect with the tech support as well. But always be sure to review our announcements. I cannot express how important that is because we're going to provide a lot of clarifying answers, maybe questions that have been presented in previous classes that I try to clear up for you so it's a little bit less stressful, as well as awesome exterior resources to help support the concepts that we are doing. So do try and keep up on the announcements as you're able to. As always, if you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm here to support you 100% of the way. You can text me, email me, we can chat on the general discussion forums, whatever you need to feel supported. Hang in there, it's going to be an awesome term and you totally got this.